How is he? How is he like this? Look at this.
The fuck?
You just Goomba stop them off.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's G Miners here. This week's Grand Master Nightfall is the Scarlet Keep. I didn't have time to clear it this season until last night, but I figured there would be a bunch of people who would still be trying to get this done this weekend, so I wanted to put a guide out for you guys now. I also went through and I added chapters on YouTube, so if you do need help with just one part of the GM, just skip ahead to that point in the video. This Nightfall has anti-barrier and unstopped champions, and then also solar and arc shields. The unique modifier is Fire Pit, so acolytes will drop fire pools when they die, so you don't want to step into those. And then also new to this season or this week of GMs, I'm not entirely sure if this will get changed, but we do have acute arc burn. Similar to the OG D1 burns with Nightfalls, we will take 50% more arc damage and also deal 25% more outgoing arc damage. The loadout that my team found best to run was similar to the one we used for the Light Blade. I do have a guide on that if you want to check it out. But we used Arbalest for anti-barriers, and it also seconds as a pretty solid DPS option. The Insidious Pulse Rifle from the raid was perfect for stunning unstopped champions, and then also we do get that 25% increased damage from acute arc burn, so this makes ad clear much easier using an arc weapon. And then in our heavy slot, we used linear fusion rifles. I think that the Tarantula or Tarantula actually becomes one of the best options to use with this modifier as well, so I recommend that if you have it, but I used Reed's Regret and someone on our squad used Threaded, and it didn't make a huge difference. If you guys don't happen to have any of these weapons, just comment below what you are thinking of running and I can let you know my thoughts. But this GM is pretty easy, so you should be able to get away with running a lot of different options. We had a Titan on Banner Shield with Ursas, which made the elevator pretty easy to get past. We had a Hunter running double invis, so they could dodge and use Smoke Bomb to go invis in two different situations or just kind of extend their invis. And they also ran Orpheus Rigs with Quiver, and most importantly, they had Lucent Finisher on so that they could go invis and then generate heavy ammo from champions. I personally was on Warlock with my double Bleakwatcher turret build. I will link this in the comments below, but it was super useful, especially for crowd control on the ads in the final boss room, which is pretty much the only hard part of this GM. The rest of this guide is going to go over some general tips and tricks for each part of the strike, but before we get into that, if you do find this video useful, don't forget to drop a like and sub down below. Subbing is completely free, guys. It helps me out a ton, and you can always change your mind later. Okay, so right after you spawn in and make your way to the first major area, you will be at the first bridge. There will be two anti-barriers, one on each side that you should deal with first, and then my team went to the right to grab the first orb. There is a wizard with a solar shield defending it, which is tanky, but Arbalest will rip its shield right off, and then from there, it's something like 5 shots to the head. After we grabbed the orb, we jumped on top of this first tower and shot down at the anti-barrier that spawns to kill it. You can also drop the orb so that you have all 3 players shooting instead of just 2. After that, we repeated it on the second side, but the tower is not as useful to sit on over here, so we just played back a bit and played a bit slower to kill this second anti-barrier. When the bridge lowers, there are going to be 2 Arc Shield Knights and an Unstop. Use Tether here and make sure to jiggle peek a bit because there are Sniper Acolytes that spawn in the back, which can one-shot you depending on your mods. On the second part of the bridge, there are more ad spawns and a Solar Shield Wizard to kill. Prioritize them first and use a turret to keep the Acolytes that spawn back. There is also an anti-barrier, so when we push up, we do so enough that we only get its aggro, and then after killing it, we push up a bit more to kill the Shrieker in the back. You do not want to be dealing with both of these at the same time, and you always want to bake Shriekers as fast as possible, so delaying its aggro is going to help a ton. Up the stairs, there should be 2 Sniper Acolytes that are close and 2 that are further back, and there is 1 final wizard between them as well. After this, you will find yourself at the altars. There is an anti-barrier to your left as you enter the room, and then after that, you need to secure 3 plates, so we like to hop on 1 plate at a time to trigger its spawn, and then back up to deal with ads. The center plate will spawn a wizard when you step on it, and when it is finished, another anti-barrier will spawn in the back. For both of these side plates that you capture, you will need to kill the wizard that spawns on the plate initially, and then after stepping on it, eventually an anti-barrier will spawn. So these are more or less just 1 set of spawns for these side plates. That's pretty much it for this room. Super easy place to get 4 revive tokens for free. Only thing here that is going to mess you up is the arc damage from the Knights and Wizards, so just be careful. Right after this is going to be bridge number 2. There is an anti-barrier before you actually get onto the bridge, along with some sniper acolytes, so be careful here. And then with each set of spawns that are on the main portion of the bridge, there are also going to be some snipers, so make sure to not overextend and get picked off. The first set of spawns has another anti-barrier to deal with, and the second set has a normal arc shield knight. The spawns at the very back of the bridge are also a bunch of snipers, and there is another anti-barrier, so we would use Arbalest here to pick them off from a distance. There is also a Shrieker here, so once again, don't grab its aggro until you are ready to bake it. After this, there is one more anti-barrier before you get onto the elevator. On the elevator itself, as you're going up, there is always one of the 3 pillars that you should play around. Which pillar it is changes each level you go up, but playing or even just completely hiding behind these will protect you from all the adds that spawn. On the first level, there is going to be a wizard in the center of the room, along with an anti-barrier. On the second level, there is an unstop right in the center as you spawn, and then one wizard on each sides of the room. I would usually use my super to clear one side, and the other players would clear the second side. After this, you head up to the final level and are in the boss room. In here, we like to sit in the back left of the arena. This is the least open area, and with a turret on each side, any adds that decide to push your team will end up getting frozen. The only thing you need to worry about are any adds that spawn on the door to the immediate left, but only one set should spawn here during the entire fight, so it isn't that much to deal with. The main thing you're going to want to do here is trickle the boss's health down super slowly until each set of adds spawn. You don't want to all out DPS because she is health gated and you will overlap spawns, and by doing this, most likely get wiped. Each time a set of adds spawns, it should be a few Thrall, some Acolytes, and then either 2 Knights or 2 Wizards. And it also seems that adds spawn each time you deal about a 1/6 of her total health. When you end up getting Hashladoon to her final 1/3 of health and her overshield pops back up, you will have 2 unstop ogres to deal with along with some adds. The unstops don't really seem to push, especially with stasis turrets out, so just focus them from afar and you should be fine. And then after she becomes damageable again, we like to push her final 1/3 of health bar quick enough to get the clear. Another set of adds did spawn as we were dealing damage and just trying to bake her, so it might be safer for your team just to deal with those adds first, but it's your call. That is every part of the Scarlet Keep GM. I try to go over things in detail without beating it to death, but if you guys do want more info or less info in future GM guides, make sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, have a good one, guys. Peace.